All right, welcome to another pre-market review session with Coach Ray, the market trader. Um, Wanted to before we get started, let's go ahead and review the risk disclosure here. Okay, so just to kind of want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the market trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice and offered to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, or fund. Use of this information contained is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. We all understand that future trading does carry a fair amount of risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital, and only risk capital, money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle, should be used for trading. And only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or Forex. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure, we're going to go ahead and jump into the financial news portal and see what news we have here in the horizon that could potentially impact us in the markets today. Okay, so fair amount of news here in the horizon. We have PPI coming in here at 8:30 in the morning. We have initial jobless claims and continuous jobless claims coming in at also at 8:30 in the morning. And then we have 30-year bond yields reporting here at 1 p.m., both high yield and bid to cover. Okay, so fair amount of news that could potentially impact impact us in the markets. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the portal here. Stop share here and then make my portal visible. Let's see, we're looking at this market here. All right, so we're looking at the gold market. Okay, so looking at the gold market, starting off with the daily chart here. Okay, so you can see here that over the past, let's go ahead and remove some of our indicators here temporarily. Turn off this, turn off this, and turn off this for now. Okay, you can see that we made over the last 3 days, actually last couple of days, we've made a steady climb in the markets, and we're starting to approach some levels here above at around 2970. Okay. Otherwise, you could argue that we've been in somewhat of a range in this market. Okay, so market seems to be ranging here a bit. Okay, we've had, like I said, two solid bullish days in the market, and we have yet another developing bullish day in the market here as we speak. Okay. Looking at the ADX here, I'm working off a different platform. Let's see if I can open this up here a little bit. Okay, let's see if I can get to it. Not behaving. Okay, there it is. All right, so looking at it from an ADX perspective, okay, kind of a momentum indicator here, you can see that our positive DI line is above our negative DI line. Still not seeing the ADX turn in our direction as of yet, but it is a positive signal that we're starting to see the ADX indicator here, not ADX, but the positive DI above our negative line here. So that's positive here for the market. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, so looking at this from the 4-hour perspective, you can see that we're starting to make higher highs and higher lows. We've broken some structure here officially with the close of this candle here. Right, so we're going to go ahead and draw a little bit of a horizontal line here. Now this area is going to be a area now of support, okay, in this market. I'm going to go ahead and use a dashed line just not to interfere with anything else that I might be having going on the chart. Now, as I mentioned, we are coming on into an area resistance here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that level, and I'll mark that in as red. So this 29.70 level, I would expect that could be somewhat resistant to price. Okay. So we'll have to monitor that, but that still we're still a ways away from that. Moving down to the 30-minute chart, we'll start to do a little bit of volume analysis here. We'll start to see where price is in relation to yesterday's volume. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up fixed range volume profile, and I'm going to go ahead and open that up for the start of the session here. So let's see, fixed range volume profile. We're going to go ahead and open it up here for Wednesday here. Let's see, right about there. Okay. And just kind of drag this across to the close for Wednesday. Okay. So we'll do that right there. Okay. So you can see that, and I'm going to modify this volume profile here. Normally I don't have, that's not what I want to modify. Let's see if I can modify this here. Okay. So my style, my volume profile, I really don't care about whether I have, I don't need the detail to understand my buys and sells within that volume profile. Okay. And then once I'm outside the range, I like drawing that in kind of a darker gray color here to know that I'm in outside the range. Okay. The value range. And this is kind of generally the kind of look that I have when I'm following volume. Okay. So you can see here, I'm going to go ahead and extend this line here. You can see that we are above our value area high from yesterday's trade. And so we have kind of one kind of feather in the cap of the bulls. Should we maintain above this area, that could offer us possibly an area for price to continue higher. Now, should price come back inside this area of value, okay, we could expect, I'm kind of looking for my drawing tools here. We could expect price to potentially rotate through value, okay, should price come and close back inside. Let's take a little drink of water here, shall we? Okay, that's a little better. All right, so the idea, so first typo that I have here is that assuming that we maintain above, that this could value area high could provide a location for a continuation move in price to the upside. If we do get a close back inside this value area range, then there's the expectation that we could potentially rotate through the entire range of value. Okay. So we're still a ways away from the initial balance being established. So I will be waiting for the initial balance range to establish here later this morning. And then that will give me some more evidence as to what direction that they would like to take this market and whether or not we do remain, price does remain above value from the prior day or prior day in trading. So let's see. So going into the session today, I'm gonna be looking for either one of these two scenarios where price, if price does come back down to this value area high and hold, that might actually provide me a location where I could participate in a move higher in this market. Okay. Otherwise, if I do see that we do close back inside this value range, there's the possibility that we could potentially rotate through this range. Okay. All right. Let's see if I can maybe mark in some levels here for average daily range and average session range. So let's see if I can locate that here on my charts. So I have ADR here. Okay. So we have ADR, I'll say ASR coming in at 20. So I'm going to go ahead and mark an ASR level here. So this ASR I have coming in at, looks like 2962.8 to the upside. Okay, so this area right here could offer us an area of resistance in this market. Okay, and then let's see if I can locate ADR. ADR is just above that at 2663.4. So this general area, okay, could be an area where we could see some resistance to price. Okay, this is ASR high. Okay, and then I have let's see, ASR low here, if I can locate it on my chart. Okay, I have ASR low here at 2930, which is well below the market here. So I'm going to draw this area in as an area in green. Okay, so I'm going to go 2930 right about there. Okay, so this is an area of support. Okay, so let's see if I can go ahead and modify that to green. All right, so these are kind of the levels that I'm tracking in this market. So again, if we do manage to stay above value area high, maybe for a continuation move to the upside, if we do manage to close back inside value, then I would expect price to maybe head back down to some of these levels below us, maybe potentially all the way through value before we see any sort of significant move back to the upside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing in the gold market. We'll go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. Okay, so looking at crude oil, okay, we'll go ahead and start off with the daily chart here. Okay, so looking at the daily, you can see that the market has picked up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and remove, see if I can remove my drawings here. So it has picked up a little bit. Okay, we seem to have created a little bit of what appears to be a little bit of a double bottom here. The day has opened as an inside day. Inside this bullish candle, but it's still very much developing here. Now, technically, I'm kind of looking at this from a kind of price structure channel perspective. I'll go ahead and see if I can draw in my channel here to see if that gives me any indication of whether we've broken any structure here to the upside. Now, depending on how I draw this channel, I guess I could make a case here that we've broken some structure here to the upside. If I take this most recent swing, you can see here that we've broken some price structure here to the upside. Looking at the ADX, my DMI indicator, we still are not out of the woods with respect. It looks like we've obviously lost some momentum in our bearish, which we already see in our charts. But our positive DI has not exceeded our negative DI. Okay, so we're not necessarily 100% on board with further bullish action here. Okay, we would like to see this positive DI get above our negative DI with some support from the ADX to really embrace some further upside in this market. Moving down to the 4-hour chart. So looking at the 4-hour chart again, so we do see that in this case we have managed to get above our negative DI. Okay, and now it looks like we're revisiting this level. So you can see that we're kind of a little bit kind of retracing this level. Currently, I would say that we're kind of developing a little bit of some sort of bullish candle here, but we're still a ways away from having this candle close here. Okay, and so it'll be interesting to see if we are able to make a new high in this market. And I would say that the line in the sand that I'm about to draw here is this 68 level. Okay, if we do manage to get above 68, then I would say that we start to develop some structure here that could indicate that maybe we could revisit potentially 70, okay, in this market. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We have taking a look here. So it looks like we got up to 80 and kind of moved away from it a little bit, and we have kind of broken some structure here to the downside. And I'm kind of looking to see here, it looks like there might be an area here that's supportive. So I'll modify this in green. Okay, what was resistance becomes support. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here. Let's see if I can do this without not too much damage. Let's see here. We'll open this up to the start. Okay, drag this across to the close. Okay, so you can see that price is currently below yesterday's value. Okay, so this value area, I'm going to go ahead and draw in my value area low. This is kind of my value area low region, right around 67.45. Okay, so as long as price remains below value, the expectation is that we'll continue to the downside in this market. Again, similar to what we were saying for gold, if we do manage to close back inside value, then we could see a full rotation back to the highs here at 68 in this market. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to go ahead and add our 80, maybe a couple of levels here of ADR and ASR here, and just to as another areas of reference for. Let's see here. We'll go ahead and locate that on my other chart here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and open up ADR and ASR here. So again, we have ASR high here coming in at 68.18, just above the level that I had mentioned, 68.18. Kind of shrink this down here a little bit to give me some real estate. 68.18 is another level. I'm just going to go ahead, add here. 68.18. Okay, this area is going to be in red. So another secondary area of resistance for this potential move to the upside. Okay, and then let's see on the bottom end. Let's see if I can locate that. 66.77. 66.77 is another area that I'd like to highlight as maybe an area of support. 66.77 here. Okay. We're going to go ahead and draw that in green. Okay. So I would expect that these areas down below here could offer maybe some areas maybe for potential reversal in price. I do have the understanding that I am now in some sort of market here that is developing some bearish structure. The daily was starting to show some signs that maybe we were kind of changing a bit the sentiment of this market. But the lower time frame chart is indicating that maybe that we do have some bears in control, and that could potentially lead to further price discovery lower. Okay, so these areas here are my supportive areas down here at 66.77, 66.93. These are kind of my levels that I would be looking for if I were looking to go long. Okay, if I'm looking to go short, well, certainly the value area low here at 67.45 offers us a nice area and reference to support and manage our risk. Okay, and then obviously above here at 67 and 68 would also be, I guess, a more discount or wholesale level to support some shorts. Okay, so right now heading into the market, I would say that we probably need to continue to look for maybe some bearish opportunities in this market. Definitively decide on which direction they would like to take the market, but nonetheless, it does appear that maybe we're in for maybe a bearish day in the crude. Okay, moving on to the equity markets, and the equity market of choice here we'll start off with is the NQ. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start off with the daily chart. Okay, so daily chart NQ. We'll take a look at this and remove some of our drawings here. Got an overlap of some levels here. So you can see that looks like we're trying to make a little bit of a, I would say a little bit of a foothold here in the market here to see if we are able to maybe hold right around 19,000. I do see that we have a kind of a support level here at 18,885. Okay, so maybe there's a possibility that we get maybe another leg lower, before we kind of before this market turns to the upside. Okay, That's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily chart. You can see here that the strength of the market is very much to the downside. You can see that our negative DI is well above our positive DI, and our ADX indicator is, indicating that there is a fair amount of momentum still in this move to the downside. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm seeing on the daily here. So let's go ahead and move on to the 4-hour chart. Okay, looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see that the market is kind of hovering at the low end of the range. We can see that price is maybe potentially developing a little bit of a I was going to say here, if I can find my drawing tool, if I can draw a rectangle, that would be excellent. Okay, so this area right here is starting to maybe develop a little bit in the way of demand. I'm going to modify this to green, okay, not purple. And so you can see here that maybe there is a little bit of a demand zone being established here in this market. Now, again, we still do not see that our positive DI has exceeded, okay, our negative DI, okay, here. We have our positive very much below our negative. But we are seeing that maybe there is a little bit of, loss of momentum to the downside, okay? That I do see. Okay, so the question is whether we'll continue to see kind of a waning of our bearish structure here. Okay, and if we are looking to maybe see that the market is going to turn around here, we probably would like to see our positive DI get above our negative DI, and have our ADX begin to turn back to the upside. Looking at the 30-minute chart. Okay, so looking at this, we're going to go ahead and open up our fixed range volume profile here and take a look and see where price is in relation to yesterday's value. Okay, so let's do that. We're going to go ahead and select that level here to that level here, and you can see I think I misdrew that by a hair. Okay, there it is. So you can see here that price is just inside value. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and draw that in. So we're just inside value right now. Okay, basically inside value area low here at 19,577. Okay, so the as long as price remains inside value, the feeling is that we will rotate all the way to the top of value, which is currently at 19,700. We have kind of a clear path now to basically reach the other end of value here. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and draw in. I'm going to add my anchored VWAP here. See where price is in relation to VWAP. So you can see that price is above our VWAP, above our area of value. Two indications that maybe we will continue our move here to the upside. I'm going to see if I can add my ADR and ASR levels to this market. So I'll pull these numbers from my other platform here. And so we have 19,638. So I do see that we have an ASR level here. Okay, so 19,638, which we're almost to. Okay, so that's our ASR high. So we'll go ahead and draw that in as red. Okay, and then we have on the low end, we have let's see, low end we have 19,223. Okay, so 19,223 is down here somewhere. And that's another area that's kind of deep into our demand zone here. So let's see if I can locate 223 right about there. That's an area of support. Okay, so here we are, at the closer to the upper end of the range here. So let's see. Well, we're going to see if I can add ADR here. I can remove some of my drawings. ADR. Let's see. Okay, so I have ADR here at 19,861, well above the market. So right about here is another area of resistance, right about there. Okay, so we'll mark that in as red. And then we have ADR to the downside is right around, very close to our ASR zone at 278. Okay, so we'll mark that in as red, as green, sorry. Okay, so interesting location at the moment. We'll have to see how this market opens and wait for the initial balance. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and add my anchored VWAP here to the bottom and the end of the range. Okay, you can see that price is above our anchor VWAP, above our daily VWAP, above our inside our value area low range, all indicating that maybe we will see some further upside move here. Okay, we need to get above our let's see, average session range high here. Okay, so that's something that we'll need to keep an eye on. But assuming that we can get above that level, then obviously value area high is the next destination for this market. So heading into the session, I would say that we would probably need to look for potentially some bullish opportunities in this market. I think if we manage to hold above value area low, that could offer us maybe some further upside opportunity in this market. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw that in. So I'm looking for maybe a pullback down to 585. And then at that point would extend up to the upside and maybe break the value area high and get up to some of these levels above us, say at 19,800 is kind of what I'm looking at the moment. Okay. All right. We're going to go ahead and move on to the ES and probably close with the ES today. Kind of made a little bit of a shortened session here, but wanted to kind of at least get through a couple of equity markets here for you guys. So let's take a look here at the daily. Again, similar to what we've kind of did with the NASDAQ. You can see, I would say that it appears a little bit weaker. Again, we are still in this kind of bearish structure here to the downside. We have some candles here that we're starting to see maybe some buyers kind of nibbling at these levels, and they've managed to create some bullish candles, but certainly nothing to really hang our hats on as of yet. I don't think this market is still very much in a kind of a bearish mode here. Okay. So moving on to the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart, I'm looking at this. You can see, again, similar to what we saw in the NASDAQ, we seem to be developing a little bit of structure here on the bottom end of the market here. So I'm going to go ahead and locate my charting tool, locate my rectangle, and you can see here that we've, maybe a little bit of a double, triple bottom here that we've been developing here in the ES on the 4-hour side. So my assumption is that if we do manage to get above, let's see, some drawing tools here. If I can get to if we do manage to get above, let's call it, let's say 56.1850. Okay. If we do manage to get above that level, then I will go ahead and mark that in as red. Then that could kind of spell maybe for a move back up to potentially 56.44, our first stop, and maybe potentially as high as 57.55, which I'm going to go ahead and mark in as an area of resistance. Moving on to the 30-minute chart. Okay, 30-minute chart. We're going to go ahead and do our fixed range volume profile analysis here, see where we are in relation to price value. Okay, and we'll go ahead and draw that in. We'll start here, and this is the close here. Okay, and you can see that price is hovering similar to NASDAQ, just inside value. I'm going to go ahead and draw that in blue. Okay, so there's our value area range. We have a value area high range coming in here at this level here. Okay, which is also an area of resistance that we've kind of identified as well on the higher time frame charts. So again, We are above our VWAP. We are inside value. So everything is kind of indicating maybe for some further upside opportunities in this market. So I'm going to go ahead and add our ASR and ADR to this chart just to get a sense of where we stand on that. So we have 5611 or 5612. Looks like we have an area here on the ASR side that could be resistant. Okay. And then on the ADR side, we have a level here around, looks like 5660. Okay. Right about here is an area that could be resistant on the daily side. Okay. And then from a bullish perspective, we'll just kind of add our ASR low here. So we have 5634. Okay. So 5634. So right around this level here. No, 5634. Is that right? 5534. Okay. So 5534. That's a little bit below the market here. Okay. So 5534. That's going to be an area of support. So we'll go ahead and mark that in. 5534 right there. Okay. We'll go ahead and color that in green. And then we have an ASR zone slightly below that at 5521. Okay. So this is the expectation is that these two areas would be supportive. Okay. So we're coming up into an area where we could be facing some resistance in this market, assuming that we do get above, say, 5622, 5623, that could open the door for us to maybe revisit some of these higher prices here at 5660 and potentially beyond. Okay. So so just to kind of summarize, just kind of trace back through these markets. Looking at the gold, I think we continue to look for some upside opportunities in gold. We may get maybe a little bit of a pullback here if we do manage to close back inside value, but market seems to be still very much bullish. Crude oil, okay, we're starting to see maybe that maybe a little bit of an acceptance of lower pricing. We got price below value, so as long as price remains below value, then the path of least resistance would be lower here. Okay. And then as we discussed on the equity markets, both equity markets are inside value, kind of giving us an indication that maybe there is some further upside opportunities in this market. We can use certainly value area low as a reference level for that to support our any sort of executions that we might be entertaining in this market. Okay. And then finally, the ES market, okay, is similar to the NASDAQ, coming into some maybe areas of resistance here that could potentially impact maybe some further upside. We'll have to see how price behaves as we approach value area high. 5622 could offer us a location where we do see maybe a reversal in price. We're just going to go ahead and draw that in. Okay. So this area right here could offer us maybe some sort of reversal. Okay. If we do manage to close above, then I would say that we can use value area high as that a location for maybe an execution for a further upside move to the upside. Okay. So that's kind of what I'm seeing overall in the markets. Looks like we got kind of like a little bit of a split, you know, looking a bit bullish on the equities, also bullish on the gold, and a bit bearish on the crude oil. So as we close the session, as we close every session, we want to trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. All right, guys, have an excellent day trading.